Listen, I'm going to segue from Johnny's comment there. You have the power now. It's the month of November. You have the power to say no to something so you can say yes to a lot of things. You have the power to say no to something so you can say yes to a lot of things because you can't have both. And we have Jory Jansen joining us here, our resident dietitian expert, food expert, and maybe even the resident poop expert, Jory, because when you got to put food in the body, the food's got to get out of the body. And we got Jory joining us here this morning. Jory, new research shows that 84% of cholesterol medications might be unnecessary.
Oh, my God, what a topic.
But only if you understand how to engineer your nutrition. Now, Jory, there's a guy listening right now. There's a female, there's a guy. He's rolling over and he's about to walk over to the bathroom and get his cholesterol medication. He's like, hold on, what the fuck? What are they talking about? And Johnny and Ford have been talking about, yeah, all these accumulative decisions you've been making over those years are putting you in this position right now. Jory, let's take some time today to talk about the protein breaker on how nutrition can affect cholesterols and so forth. And I can see Johnny and Richie leaning into this, but Jory, let's get after it, my friend.
Yeah. So it really depends on your makeup, right? Your genetic makeup. Absolutely does. A lot of times I've had clients where, you know what, I eat well, I exercise well, I sleep well, I don't eat a ton of excess sugar, and like relatively balanced though, like they're not crazy insane, but they need the medication. It's just, I need contacts or glasses or I'm not going to see you. It's just how it is.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing I can do nutritionally. There's nothing I can do through exercise. It is what it is. That's some people.
Basically coming from mom and dad, so to speak,
right.
Correct? Yep.
Correct.
Okay.
So there's that case. But there's the other side where for many years, and I was educated back in the 90s, how to work with people that had high cholesterol. And it was all about the fat. That's all it was. So if you take care of, get rid of, or significantly reduce saturated fat, which is animal fat, then you're on your way to healthy cholesterol. That's still a principle. But it's not the only thing. It's also then the excessive sugar that we're finding out, along with the saturated fat. So that's why when we look at things like not just steak, we're looking at dessert like cheesecake, right?
Or Coca-Cola.
Right, exactly. Those simple sugars are changing things up. And so it's not just a matter of medication, it's a matter of looking at your genetic factors. Then yeah, I think you probably need medication. So, if it's dietary, like the difference between type 1 and type 2 diabetes.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. But you said something which sticks with me because, so I'm 52, Johnny's 52, Richie's 41, you're 28.
20 years ago.
Yeah, right. So good for you, Jory. So then, okay, good. So then we're all relatively in the same demographic. We grew up with a lot of the same like science and our parents and ourselves. And it's, wait a minute, but science has changed since then. And we've learned a lot more since then. And Jory, our audience is myself and our audience is Richie. Our audience is your husband, Jory. Our audience is John Anderson. Let's take a few moments right now. And I don't know if it's about re-educating, but just continue to emphasize that the choices we're making daily can have an effect on our genetic makeups as well. Johnny, I see you wanted to jump in on this one as well. Jory, go ahead.
I just wanted to Jory, talk a little bit because people, the way that the media presents cholesterol is it's like this evil thing. Can you explain to everybody that cholesterol is actually needed? It's healthy. Obviously, your lifestyle has to do with it. If you're a fat son of a bitch laying on the couch playing video games, eating cereal, okay, cholesterol, it's a different deal than if you're an active, healthy person. So just people demonize cholesterol, if you will.
Yeah. It's like I mentioned last time, there are different types. There's total fat, there's total cholesterol, and then you segment it out into the different types of cholesterol. And so we even need a certain amount of saturated fat in our diet. We're going to get that. We need it. It's more highly available in animal fats, but we want a balance. We want a ratio of our LDL, or we typically call it lousy cholesterol, and we want a higher amount of HDL, or happy cholesterol. And so it's a nice balance. And how we do that is by making sure that we include those, we call them heart healthy fats, right? So by adding those in, we help with that balanced ratio of cholesterol, because cholesterol is needed for health in our body. That's why we have it. Just like cortisol, right? It's known as the stress hormone, but we need to have a certain level of cholesterol, but in excess, not healthy. And same thing
Yes.
with that ratio for the types of cholesterol that we have. And so by including things like monounsaturated fat, polyunsaturated fat, so that's mostly plant sources. So pumpkin seeds, Brazil nuts, flaxseed, chia seeds, hemp hearts,
Yeah.
almond butter, all of those sort of things. Those are going to help balance that ratio. And fat helps us stay fuller longer. So we don't want those fat-free diets. It's not going to work. It's not going to
Yeah.
help us in terms of appetite control, things like that. But also in terms of looking at weight management, depending on your gene makeup, there is research now that shows that based on your gene type, you may or may not have to watch the fat content as much as others. So it's really understanding and learning how your body works at a
Yes.
personalized level and then working on that from there. So like I said, I worked with a chef who really understood his body, but his cholesterol was through the roof. So he needed the medication to help support that. He was eating well. He was exercising, all those sort of things. So it's really understanding, and it's not a fat is evil. It's no, fat is good. It's just figuring out how you utilize fat for your particular body.
Yes.
He said something that was struck with me, that you've worked with a chef that eats really well, probably prepares exceptional food for himself, yet he still has to be on medication. At that point, you're probably talking about that's the genetics coming up there, isn't it, Jory?
That is the genetics, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a type 1 diabetic versus a type 2. The type 2 did it to himself. The type 1, his parents gave it to him.
Yes, I get you. I get you. So then, Jory, let's get into a blueprint and let's make this actionable as we work towards wrapping up this segment. Now, nation, we're never giving medical advice. We're simply providing information for you guys to consider. But maybe we started off this segment, Jory, around a percentage of the population is on cholesterol medication. Maybe someone's looking to get off it or make changes. What would you recommend as a licensed dietitian, nutritionist, food expert? What changes would you recommend to me, saying, Jory, I would like to go to my doctor over time and see if I can get off this or change the dosages of it? What markers should I track, or what changes should I look for? And how can I start first with nutrition?
Yeah, so I tend to look at overall lifestyle,
Okay.
not just the nutrition piece, because they go hand in hand.
Okay.
But I would look at what seems to be the one thing that's easiest for you to start to work on. Because if it's easier, it doesn't mean it's easy, but it's easier, then that's something that is doable and actionable and
You're
likely.
going to win.
And
Right.
then you feel committed. If I would say one of the things would be increasing the F word, fiber.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You increase fiber content, you're moving things, right? Some of you move along a little faster than
Yes,
others. So in
yes.
sport and exercise, watch the fiber timing to exercise. But absolutely, I would start with let's increase fiber content. Most of us are deficient. We're not meeting our 25 to 35 grams of fiber we need in a day. So start there, because that's going to help. That's been shown to help with cholesterol levels. And then you build from there, hydration, get things moving. And then maybe we're looking at swapping out some of the saturated for the unsaturated fats and just keep taking steps. It's more doable that way.
Yeah.
Such a great tip, basically.
Yes.
Going after the low-hanging fruit. What's the easiest? Because once you actually take that step and you're in motion and you've got that established, then it's so much easier to go after the next step. Don't go after the most difficult one, because it's going to be very difficult to establish the habit of attacking that one. So great tip, Jory. Go get that low-hanging fruit. Make it easy to start.
Yeah. What I like about the practical advice that Jory offered up too is going after your fiber. And we've talked about this with tracking protein or carbs before, even, Richie, is that we think we're getting enough, but until we actually either write it down or putting it into an app, we really recognize how much we're not getting, Jory. So it's okay. Keep going through your fiber. Okay, I'm going to go eat this. Oh, didn't really have much fiber in it. And go eat this. Oh, didn't have much fiber in it. Oh, I had a big bowl of broccoli. Yeah, but I didn't get much fiber. So until you really create that awareness, Richie, you're actually not getting what you're probably getting in your body.
The other thing too, you guys, is that people are so scared of, I can't eat eggs because I have high cholesterol. It's not the cholesterol in food that's causing the high cholesterol. It's not. It's saturated fat, it's sedentary lifestyle, it's not getting the balance of fiber. So I have actually started working with a client this week, and one of the things we were looking at was his recall, and it was really hard to figure out based on recall, what is he really doing? Because he travels a lot and he's involved in sport. And so we discussed about over the next 2 weeks, he's just going to track his intake. But we're going to look at beyond macros. We're going to look beyond. We're going to look at fiber content. We're going to look at the timing of when his food intake is coming on into his life. What are the changes in bowel movements? Like, we're taking a deep dive. And before I give a recommendation, we need to know what is he currently doing and what then it looks realistic to start to apply to create the changes he needs.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of here's your meal plan or
Oh.
it's where are you right now? And based on your life and what's realistic. If you're traveling a lot, it's not easy to create the changes that you might need to do. So it's low hanging fruit first, which is a big deal.
And that's why I believe much of the advice we strive to offer up on the show here is so simple and so actionable, right? Track your sleep. Johnny often says you don't deserve to go to the gym because you didn't sleep tonight. And Jory, instead of me coming to you saying, I need magic, you're saying, no, slow down, track your fiber first, right? And because we all want the quick fixes, and yet we keep iterating on this show, there is no quick fixes, right? It's doing the basic stuff and getting after it. So
the quick fix is doing the shit every goddamn day.
Yeah, that's exactly it. But again, though, creating the awareness because we think we're doing it. No, track your sleep last night. And listen, nation, we have these watches. There's so much technology that could track stuff. So the ability to track your metrics is easier than ever. So,
and real quick, the last thing I want to on this whole thing is we're talking about making changes for health. Most people think it's difficult only because the people around them have convinced them it's difficult.
Yes.
This shit is not difficult. You're just surrounding yourself with a bunch of people who tell you it's difficult because they don't want to do it. So you got to really look, is it really difficult, or are you just repeating the dumb shit that the unhealthy people around you are saying?
It's true. It's true. All right, Jory, before we say goodbye and catch up for the weekend here, Jory, I know you're a mom, and usually at this point of the show, we bring Christina Flynn on to do the lifestyle break, but Christina had to leave yesterday because she was busy taking care of a situation within her house here, and I
feel for her. That's a tough one. I remember going through that.
Yeah, so I gotta show you here, Jory, that Christina Flynn is busy managing this. It was the remover of the pacifier days and Christina Flynn's house. So it's habit changing, right? It doesn't matter how old you are, we're changing habits, right?
Oh my goodness, yes. Yeah, my daughter's 13 now, so she's past that part, but there's other things.
There's other things we're removing from our kids' lives. All right, Jory, listen, I appreciate you as always. We've got the GOAT of all time and our nutrition expert, our dietitian expert, our food expert, Jory Jansen. Quickly, before you rock and roll, what do you got going on this weekend? Jets game, Bomber game, what do you got going on this weekend?
I've got being a mom. My husband is on a trip with his friend in England. Yeah. And so well-deserved. He should be there. So I'm just going to have some slumber party time and just enjoy life.
Well, that's fun. That's fun. Good for you. Listen, thanks for hanging out with us, Jory. You have a great weekend, great week with the family. Enjoy the slumber time, and go Jets, go Bombers, go. And we'll see you on Monday, okay?
All right. See you guys.
Awesome. Take care.
Thank you, Jory.
There goes Jory Jansen. All right.